Every day we turn on the faucet, we take a shower, we grab a drink of water from the faucet, but rarely do we wonder where the water came from and whether or not there will be enough for tomorrow. Hello, my name is Candace Kwok-Smith with the Santa Clara Valley Water District, the water management agency for Santa Clara County. Earlier this afternoon, I had the opportunity to speak with CEO Stan Williams about water supply in Santa Clara County. Coming off our driest winter, Mr. Williams shared with me the challenges, the opportunities, and what's really going on here in Santa Clara County.
This is my 13th winter as the CEO of the Santa Clara Valley Water District, and this has been the driest winter of all those 13 years. So we've also had very little runoff from the rains that we have had to put water in our reservoirs. So that's not been helpful either. And then, of course, half of our water supply comes from the Sierra snowpacks, and they're not doing very well either. They're below average for this time of year. Compared to other water agencies within the Bay Area region, we don't, at this point, expect to have to do any restrictions on water use. And it's because we've done a really good job of having a lot of different sources for water in our county, more than most. And we've been able, the last few years, to particularly fill our groundwater basins. And that should be sufficient to get us through a dry year like this, if nothing else goes wrong.
While we are currently not in a crisis situation when it comes to water supply, Mr. Williams did share with me the implications a recent court ruling might have. This could potentially include shutting down water pumps, which is a major water resource for Santa Clara County.
We rely on importing water, that Sierra snowmelt, through the Delta, and some of that is potentially going to be cut off this year due to a court ruling that may affect the State Water Project, and that would have a real impact on our getting water into the county. If the State Water Project pumps were shut down for an extended period of time, it can have really major impacts on Santa Clara Valley Water District. We use that imported water to recharge our groundwater basins, put water back in the groundwater after it's been pumped out, to replace them. And if we're not able to do that over time, we can get into some very severe consequences. Not only will it cost more money for people to pump groundwater because it'll be deeper and require a greater energy cost, but also we could face saltwater intrusion from the bay that could contaminate some of our groundwater basin as a source of water. We also have problems if the pumps are off for a long period of time from the State Water Project, affecting our other source of imported water, the federal Central Valley Project. And in that both of those sources of supply are stored in the San Luis Reservoir. So if the state water isn't in San Luis Reservoir, the levels of the lake can be so low that it causes significant problems with our water quality. So it would have impacts, beyond just the loss of one source. It could affect many of our sources.
While the consensus is that we are not in a drought, Mr. Williams points out that multiple dry years of weather such as this raises some serious challenges for water supply.
Certainly, it is the type of dry year that, if repeated, can really have drought conditions be the way we have to live again, like we did some 15, 20 years ago. We have, though, again, lots of sources of water, and we have ways to store water outside the county and inside the county. So we would have more difficulty making our supplies meet all the demands. But we do a really good job with conservation. We've really been able to absorb about a 25% increase in population in the last decades with no increase in water use because of the efficiency of our water use in the county. So people already are pretty attuned to that. And we may ask, use this occasion to ask for more and more efficient use, more conservation. And I think that, as citizens of this county and the residents respond really well to those kind of requests for cooperation.
Mr. Williams also mentions to me that the Santa Clara Valley Water District is involved in partnerships with neighboring water agencies to look at water supply management from a regional perspective.
Since the last drought late 80s and early 90s, we started meeting as Bay Area water agencies to see how we could help each other after disasters, emergencies, but also in situations like this. And we've connected some of our systems together, like we have an intertie with San Francisco Hetch Hetchy system. They have interties with other water agencies, so we are able to help each other out a little bit more now than we could in the past. And we're talking with them about what we can do to help them, because as I was talking about maybe losing some of our state water, we may need help from them if something else happens to our system too. The message, I guess, overall from all of this water-related issues is that we're in a period of time where we have to be very careful, where we have to already be taking measures to use less water and use it more wisely, which is usually a good idea anyway. But we may have to take extraordinary measures to cooperate with not only our regional water agencies, but with water agencies all over the state if we get back into a situation where we have a problem providing enough water for the people here in Santa Clara County.
There's no doubt that the Santa Clara Valley Water District has a well-articulated water supply management plan to ensure that the next time you turn on that faucet or the next time you take a shower, the water will be there. However, the message is clear. Always use water wisely.